This is Out to Lunch, and we're just going to continue here as we bring in our next guest. By the way, we're at WRMN1410.com if you want to find out all about the radio station. We'll soon on the website have a lot more programming information. It's been pretty radio shopping show dominated for a long time, but we're moving more where programming is just as, if not more, important than the radio shopping show concept, both working together in the future. But we're joined now by Drew Sosnowski. And welcome, Drew. How you doing?
Very nice. Very nice to be here. Congratulations on your new show here. This is fantastic.
Thanks.
And it's really great. Look at a big, huge crowd here.
I know.
Today. Amazing. Great
day for the sign company for South Elgin, and these are good times for you. You're here. Why don't you introduce yourself just to our audience a little bit for those who might not know who you are at this point?
Sure. My name is Andrew Sosnowski. I go by Drew. Friends call me Drew. I am an attorney. I've been an attorney for the last 35 years, Mark. And
you don't look that old.
Yeah, well, I was 12, when I started.
So smart guy. You're a smart guy. Yeah.
But seriously, my office is downtown Elgin. I practice criminal defense mostly at this point, but I'm also the general counsel for Volunteers of America, Illinois. I opened a legal clinic for veterans recently that are facing housing insecurities. A lot of them are from the city because VOA's in the city, but we're moving out to Elgin too. So VOA is that. I'm also a professor, Mark. You probably know that at Aurora University. I'm a senior lecturer, they call it, which is similar to a professor. And I teach criminal law there. And I've been a professor adjunct at Elgin Community College for the last 22 years, teaching paralegal studies and criminal justice there as well. So pretty big. And the reason I'm here today is I'm also the chairman of your mental health board.
Yeah, the 708 board for the Elgin Township.
Yes, exactly right, which is what you were instrumental in getting me on. The trustees voted us on to those positions, and I'm your chairman. So I've been doing that for the last little over a year and a half now, Mark.
Yeah, and there's some interesting developments along with that as far as the money that the 708 board for the Elgin Township has to work with, and some things that we're going through right now. But you're trying to figure out things that the Elgin 708 board can get involved with and to do, right? And what's going on the 23rd at the Elgin Township is has to do with opioid overdose prevention, and it's a free seminar, if you want to call it that, and it's something that the 708 board is involved with, right?
Yes, exactly, Mark. It's called Give the Gift a Second Chance. Give the Gift of a Second Chance. It is for Narcan. You've heard of that. Maybe it's a chemical or a drug. It's also called naloxone.
Yeah.
And it's, for lack of a better term, it's like an anecdote for fentanyl. We hear fentanyl crisis in our country. It's plaguing our streets. It's coming across our border. It's being produced in China very, very cheaply. It's getting into our opioids here in this country. It is manufactured, so it's synthetic, and it's very, very potent. They say it's 100 times more potent than morphine and 50 times more potent than heroin.
Wow.
So it's something that is very addictive, highly addictive, and it can kill you in extremely small doses. People can overdose. You're hearing that all the time around the country, fentanyl overdoses. It's in our communities, and it's coming here even in bigger droves. So this training, Mark, is been sponsored by the Elgin Breakfast Rotary, also the Elgin Township Committee on Seniors,
right,
which is great because seniors are going to be seeing their grandchildren and their great-grandchildren coming over. Sometimes they don't know what to do. Also the mental health board, as you said. And what this training does is it's going to teach people how to use this product so that people don't overdose. It's a second chance on life. And they're even going to give out, this has been brought to us by the Kane County health department. So the health department is going to do the training. Certainly I couldn't do the training or the people there, but they're going to be giving out also small nasal spray and so that they can be used in people's houses and show them how to use it.
Yeah. So Narcan is becoming more accessible, I guess, and it's encouraged. It's encouraged for people to have some from time to time. I mean, I guess we'll learn how to notice the signs of an opioid overdose at this particular event at the Elgin Township on the 23rd, right? Because and is opioid overdosing, for lack of a better way of coming up with what I'm trying to say, is that like become like the top way that people die from drug overdoses in the area? I mean, we've gone through phases, right? There was heroin, there was crack cocaine, different things, but we hear more and more about fentanyl and opioid overdoses all the time now.
When we're talking about chronicity, it might be different. So people are dying from drug overdose. I mean, from drug addiction, I should say. It's a slow process. But when you talk about the acute cause of death, it's overdosing, and overdosing, particularly now on things like fentanyl. Fentanyl is highly addictive and also highly potent, and it can kill you very easily. A very small amount can kill. We see it in our neighborhoods here in Kane County. It's coming across our borders and it's ending up here in Kane County. And that's a very, very critical thing to be aware of. So this is going to be a good training for people if they want to get out there and find out how to use a preventive, almost like I said, an anecdote to prevent somebody from dying from this.
And this takes place a week from tomorrow.
Correct.
It's at the Elgin Township at 729 South McLean Boulevard. And if you'd like to be a part of this, do you have any idea how long the session's going to take that day?
I believe it's going to be probably an hour and a half. I think that's probably what they're saying. So I would say people will be in and out of there by 3 o'clock.
Yeah. So free up about an hour and a half of time in your Saturday afternoon schedule. And it might be, it might lead to you saving someone's life somewhere down the line. Call the Elgin Township to RSVP by next Thursday, please, at 847-741-2045. That's 847-741-2045 over at the Elgin Township. And it's free. And they'd love to see you there. Yes. Are we missing out on anything else when it comes to that?
No, I have another thing to plug.
Yeah, sure. Let's plug. We get some time.
So thank you for that. And I think that's going to be a great training. And thank you for our sponsors as well, that they're very, very helpful.
Yeah.
So we have another thing. So as I told you, Volunteers of America, Illinois is coming to Kane County, coming to Elgin. Their office is right now in the same building I am across the hall from me. And they are sponsoring with Elgin Township a meeting on the 30th, which is the week after this Narcon training.
Okay.
It's on the 30th of March, which is a Saturday. It's at 9:30 in the morning till 11:30 in the morning. It's at the Elgin Township office, same address, same phone number. And it's called, I Got a Ticket. Now what? And just to tell you a little bit about what that is, you know, as a lawyer, I get some of the most calls I get are people saying, I got a ticket. Can you come and appear for me in court? Well, by the time they pay for me, it's not even worth going. So I usually talk them through on the line saying, here's what you do. So this is a training for everybody in general. It's open to Elgin Township and residents around. It's free as well. And this is the exciting part too. We invited the judge who sits in Elgin Township Court, the Elgin Court. We've invited a former prosecutor from Elgin, right, that worked in that courtroom.
Yeah.
Myself as a defense attorney in the Elgin Police Department. They're all going to come there and talk to people about, you know, not giving legal advice, but just saying, you know, what do you do in the event you get a ticket? And how do you, you know, what should you do? Where do you go? How do you file this? What do you do? How do you say things? And it's going to be a very good training like that. So that's a couple hours as well. And that's also, again, sponsored by Elgin Township. You guys are busy between, you know, you guys, the trustee, the supervisor, they do some great things for Elgin. So thank you.
Yeah, more and more programs going on that the Elgin Township has been involved with over time. So do a lot of people not know what to do when they get a ticket?
Well,
it seems like
it's fearful. You know, if you ever got a ticket, you know, police stop you and they say, here's your ticket. You could fill out the back. But what happens if you have some kind of a you know, a defense to that you might want to raise, or you might want to see if you can get supervision as opposed to paying something online? And even the process of, if you get the ticket and I just sign on the back of it, what happens to that? So a lot of times people ask those questions, and it sounds pretty rudimentary, but that's something that's going to be helpful to them. And even if it's not a speeding ticket, could be a, you know, failure to yield. It could be even a ticket for dog barking or any kinds of situations like that, where a lot of times people can do it on their own. It's kind of like a do-it-yourself meeting.
Okay. So that's a week from this first seminar, which is taking place on Saturday, March the 23rd. The one we're talking about now is Saturday, March the 30th.
Correct.
And it starts at 9:30 in the morning, you said?
Yes, 9:30 in the morning. And that's Easter weekend. So we wanted to do it early that day so people can still have their Holy Saturday and Easter Sunday to do what they need to do.
Okay. And so people should also RSVP to the township for that?
That would be great. Yes.
Okay. And again, that number is 847-741-2045. 847-741-2045. Drew Sosnowski is with me. We're here at Image 360 in South Elgin for about 15, 20 more minutes. And it's their ribbon cutting event today. They're serving lunch if you want to stop on by and see the place. They're going to have a demonstration about how to wrap a vehicle that they could actually watch that happen, I guess, if you want to stop on by between now and 5 o'clock this afternoon. So we're going to take a quick break. And Drew, you want to stick around for a few more minutes?
Absolutely, Mark. Thank you.
Okay. This is Out to Lunch with WRMN. It is a Friday afternoon. That's a good thing. Temperature about 50. Lots of sunshine here in the South Elgin area. We're at 506 Sundown Drive in South Elgin if you want to swing by and see us. Out to Lunch will be on the air until 2. Sonar will take over after the top of the hour break. Back from Studio 14 in downtown Elgin. From Image 360 in South Elgin, we'll be right back here on WRMN.
I am Brenda Rogers, Democratic candidate for Kane County Recorder. I am asking for your vote on March 19th. As a realtor and former elected official, I know the importance of keeping individuals informed and staying abreast of technology. As your next recorder, I will make sure the website is updated, user-friendly, and our residents are aware of the services offered to them. Proud to receive the endorsement of the Daily Herald, paid for by citizens to elect Brenda Rogers.
Hop on over to Lamb's Farm in Libertyville for a delicious bunny brunch on Friday, March 29th or Saturday, March 30th. Enjoy a delicious buffet at the Magnolia Cafe and Bakery. Then take a walk over to the Bunny Patch in the Visitor Center for crafts and a special visit with the Easter Bunny. Call the Magnolia Cafe and Bakery at Lamb's Farm for reservations for the Bunny Brunch at 847-362-5050. Visit lambsfarm.org for more information. Hippity hop! The lightest, fluffiest pancakes are calling your name at JoJo's Diner, 1935 West Gulf Road in Schaumburg. JoJo's has a huge breakfast menu featuring skillets, eggs Benedict, and so much more. Don't stop at breakfast. JoJo's also offers great burgers, sandwiches, and shakes. And for mouth-watering prime rib, try JoJo's for dinner. They have such a versatile menu. JoJo's Diner is family-owned and operated, and it's one of Schaumburg's best-kept secrets. Visit jojosdiner.com today. Good wine and food bring people together. Vine and Plate Wine Bar and Provisions serves globally inspired plates and wines from around the world, bringing people together and creating moments that focus on what life is all about. Vine and Plate offers shared plates, flatbread, sandwiches, and salads. You can choose wines from everywhere, and there's an extensive whiskey list too. Ingredients matter. Quality matters. Every detail matters. Visit thevineandplate.com today. You never know what you might hear in the morning on the first shift with Marky B and friends. And for many years now, Mark's best friend on the radio has been his radio partner, Larry Jones, who joins him Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m. And they really do seem to get along swell.
The summer just got away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We look forward to summer for so long.
I don't think I want to live like somewhere where it's never cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe have 9 and 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. 9 months summer, 3 months winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about a 7-2-1-2 split? Yeah.
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 Like 7 months of summer.
Yeah.
2 fall, 1 winter.
Yeah.
So we can have that taste of winter and Christmas.
You know, that's not a bad formula, Mark.
Yeah.
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 News, weather, traffic, sports, and local information and entertainment in the Fox River Valley. It's the first shift, weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on WRMN, AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
It's always exciting to hear Elgin business owners like Tanner Melvin of Side Street Studios share positivity about the local community.
Elgin is on its way, and it has been, and it sometimes, we got set back, the pandemic, and it's been rough. Everyone has felt it in so many different ways. What we're trying to do is a lot of hand-holding and shoulder rubbing and being like, it's okay, it's okay. Mm-hmm. We're trying to get this town a lot more money. We're very lucky to live in this community right now. There's nothing like this around here.
Feel the positive power of the first shift with me, Marky B, weekday mornings on WRMN.
Dine out with family and friends at Nick's Pizza in Elgin or Crystal Lake. Nick serves up award-winning thin crust and Chicago-style pizza. Eat in or carry out. In addition to Nick's fabulous pizza, let Nick's cater your events with pizza, pasta, Italian beef, and other delicious offerings. Their big banquet rooms can accommodate all your event needs. So, for great pizza in a Northwoods, cabin-style atmosphere, bring family and friends to Nick's. Visit nickspizzapub.com. For local information and fun times in the mornings, listen to Marky B and Larry Jones on the first shift.
Maybe we need to get a radio intern in to help you.
Maybe so.
Somebody that you won't have to pay and you can treat them tough.
I can haze them.
You can't haze. You'll get fired. Remember that guy from Northwestern?
Yeah.
Gone.
Did he really do it?
You don't have to really do it. If somebody says you did,
yeah,
good enough. Maybe I'm going to accuse you of hazing me. I don't have to prove it.
It's the first shift, weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on WRMN.
Renata's Old Salem Cafe is now Renata's German restaurant with old family recipes for delicious Bavarian dinners. Renata's is also known for breakfast and lunch. Renata's German restaurant has fresh baked German pastries. For a hearty breakfast, try Renata's for pancakes, skillets, and more. They've also set the standard for catering excellence. Try Renata's German restaurant off Irving Park, west of Wise Road in Hanover Park. Visit renatasgermanrestaurant.com. Welcome back to Image 360 in South Elgin on this Friday afternoon now. Signs, graphics, displays. If you want to give your business 360 degrees of exposure, I'm looking at the brochure here. If you want to stop on by, you can grab a brochure. And they're open until 5 o'clock today. Sundown Drive, South Elgin, just to the west of Route 31. And just to the east of McLean Boulevard, kind of right in between on Sundown Drive on the north side of the street. I think I got all my directions right. Welcome back to the show. We're joined right now by Drew Sosnowski, who's been talking about a couple things coming up at the Elgin Township seminars on the 23rd, the 30th, and we'll touch on those again right at the end of the show. But Drew's also running for state's attorney, right? And that's,
yes, sir.
That's quite the large title there, Drew. It's something that you really have to make a firm, large commitment, and that's what you're trying to make right now to land that office, right?
Absolutely, Mark. Yes, it's something that I've thought long and hard about. It's a county-wide position, so I'll be running in every county, including Elgin, every city in the county, every city in Kane County.
Right.
The election is a couple days now, the primary, but I don't have an opponent in the primary. I'm running as the Republican candidate for Kane County State's Attorney. And then there's the general election in November where people can vote any way they want. They don't have to get a ticket. They don't have to ask for a party. They can do it. And I ask people of all parties, this is not really partisan, to vote for me. I'd really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I can tell you a little bit about myself.
Please.
Sure. Well, I am, as I said, I'm an attorney for 35 years. One of the reasons I'm running is I was a former prosecutor, Mark. Out of the 35 years that I've been in legal practice, about 15 or 16 of those has been a prosecutor. I was a prosecutor for 9 years in Kane County, so right here in our own home county here. I actually was the one that built the program and the actual connections for the Kane County Child Advocacy Center that's here in this county. It still exists. We did that in the mid-90s under the leadership of the state's attorney at the time. He went up to me and said, build the best one, and we did that, and that exists today. They still use that same model today. It's that spirit that I want to bring to the Kane County State's Attorney's Office now. Innovation, particularly when it comes to things like fentanyl crisis,
right?
Things like when we talk about human trafficking, these are all buzzwords, but until you get somebody in there that's a practitioner that wants to do some changes, that's what I'm looking for, to make a program like that. And a lot of this is bringing resources into our county instead of us going somewhere else and asking for it to the federal government. Bring them here so that we can take care of our people here in this county. And that's the spirit that I'm going to be looking at on the state's attorney's office.
Yeah. So Jamie Mosser is currently the state's attorney. She's who you'll be running against, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So when did you make that decision that you were going to make a run for this?
Well, I made it, I've been thinking about it a long time in my life. It's something that I've thought about giving back to my community in this capacity. It's a tremendous commitment, as you said, to run for a political office. So you have to be ready spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, financially. You have to be ready. And this is the perfect time where all those meet for me. So I want to give back to my community. And how it really, the genesis of this recently was my students, Mark.
Yeah.
So yeah, my students at Aurora University, I teach criminal justice, and we were talking about what a state's attorney is and a prosecutor and the chief prosecutor. And a couple of my kids came up after the class and said, "Professor, why don't you run for state's attorney?" And I go, "Well, that's a nice thought, you know."
Yeah.
And they said, so then they come up the next day and they said, "Professor, it's November 30th or November 20th. You need to have your petitions in by December 4th."
They knew this, huh?
They knew it. They researched it themselves. They showed me the law. They showed me. I'm like, okay. Well, I said, get me on
that better hustle then. Huh?
Yeah. I said, get me on the ballot if you want it. They said, okay. I thought they were just going to, kids, they're not going to do this, but kids are the future of and that's all what my campaign is about our future, about our youth, about our children. I have at least 100 students from Aurora and Elgin that are actively involved in my campaign at this time. They want to help. They want to do something to change the community. We hear about the bad things about kids, but they do great things. So they come up to me and they start, I see petitions around, Mark, honestly.
Yeah.
And my name is on there. I said, "What are you guys doing?" They said, "We're getting you on the ballot." So then I said, I better call somebody and tell them I'm running for state's attorney. So the next thing I know, I called the party and I told them that I'm running. They didn't have a candidate. And the next thing I know, they put me on the ballot. Obviously, community support as well. I think I needed 550 signatures, and I ended up with like 1,500 signatures in a matter of 10 days. So it was spread like fire, and it went really well. So I'm blessed.
Yeah. So let me be a student for a moment then, or for some of the listeners that don't really follow the ins and outs of the different departments in the different areas. What does a state's attorney do? What would be your main job? What does Jamie Mosser do?
The primary function, well, I don't know what she does. I can't answer to her, but the primary function of the state's attorney would be this, Mark. It's to prosecute crime.
Okay.
I mean, it's to keep your streets safe. So law enforcement arrest, and they can't do anything with those individuals unless the prosecution prosecutes them. Back in the 90s and, mid 90s and 2000, when I was a prosecutor, I was pretty tough on, individuals committing criminal acts. They need to be punished, and people don't like to talk about that anymore. But my mantra is swift punishment, but also rehabilitation is part of that process. You can have combined programs that do both, but you can't ignore one and expect individuals to change their behavior. So the primary purpose behind state's attorney's office is to elect individuals who are going to prosecute criminal behavior. And it's really important. I ask your listeners to look me up and find out about me.
Yeah.
Look on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I have the website, sosnowskiforkane.com. These are, and I have my own law office, but read about me, find out. Don't just take my word for it. Find out what I've done, what boots I've walked in, where I've walked, what I've done. And you'll find that my pedigree is such that from raising children to raising grandchildren to being here in the county, that I have the actual knowledge and the ability to understand our community first and understand what it means to keep the community safe, our children and our families.
What's your website again?
It is Sosnowski, which is common spelling.
Yes.
Yeah. It's SOSN as in Nancy, OWSKI for FORKANE.com. Now, one of the great things about that name is you'll never forget it when you see it.
Yeah.
But you won't remember it either.
Right. Well, that's how I would spell it, though. SOSNOW now. Ski, SKI, right?
Exactly. Sosnowski, that's very exactly right. And I used to, when I was a kid, I used to run from that name, but now I've learned to embrace it, and I'm proud to have that name with me.
We don't have a lot of time to talk about debates right now and the hot topics. We only have about 3-4 minutes left on the show, but I would imagine one of the big things that has gone down in the last year or so has been the Safety Act. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you're probably reviewing a lot of the numbers on, and is there a way to study what kind of an impact the Safety Act has had so far, and do you have any just general quick feelings on it?
Well, I do, and the thing about it is I have student committees, and it's great to have a plethora of students who really want to learn. So I have a committee that does actual policy. So they're looking at how the changes of the Safety Act has affected community safety. And so we're going to come out with some of that positioning later on. And that's really important to look at. But one of the things I got to say is a lot of times programs are created by individuals, and then they love to be the ones that change it and make it better. So they're changing what they created bad. And that's what's happening with the Safety Act. You have people up there, the Democratic Party, that's very progressive ones in Chicago. And Democrats here are not the same as Chicago, but they invented this law, and then they look at the Democrats to actually help it. So it's very, very strange how politics works. I'm finding that out. But the bottom line is there's a lot of problems with the Safety Act. And it's not just the catch and release stuff where we talk about, but there's other things that handcuff police from doing certain things to arrest people. They can't do certain things. And if they do, they're going to be arrested themselves.
Right.
We see that. And then they become vilified and it's defunded. This is a slippery slope. So one of the things I'm in this for too is to stop that slippery slope. We can't have that kind of mantras being screamed out in our community. We're better than that.
Yeah, and then when you have the vilification, you start to have morale of the police departments being a lot lower.
Terrible.
And when the morale is lower, and you are a police officer, and there's an offense that you should make an arrest for, but you know that individual is going to get right out. Sometimes you probably ask yourself, why? Why should I even do this?
And that,
right?
Mark, that is such a good point, because particularly when I have law enforcement students that want to be cops, I've had so many kids, this is a scary thing, come up to me and say, I don't even know if I want to be a law enforcement officer anymore. This is our future. We need these kids to keep our community safe. We need them to have the same kind of desire to do this that our families did and our ancestors did. We're losing it. And it's things like the Safety Act. It's things like vilification of police. It's things that make our communities less safe. There's reasons behind it, but if you look at the reason, it's like killing an ant with a sledgehammer, and we've got to keep the number one thing is our communities and families safe. That's number one.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being here today. Again, the Kane County Health Department is putting on with the 708 board from the township this event going on a week from Saturday, March the 23rd at 1:30 at the Elgin Township, 729 South McLean Boulevard. Learn how to save someone's life that's maybe suffering from an opioid overdose, and to get Narcan while you're there that day, right?
Absolutely. There will be giving it out for free. This is all free, everything.
And then the second event you wanted to mention, and you did mention earlier, was the following week.
Yes, the 30th, which is, what do you do when you get a ticket? So those things, and you're going to have a bunch of Elgin people there to tell you.
And that's on the 30th at 9:30, also at the Elgin Township building.
Correct.
847-741-2045 to RSVP. Image 360 is where we have been today. Thanks to Lisa and to Matt for having us. Lots of people here if you want to swing by. They're open until about 5 o'clock this afternoon. And I guess every day until Monday through Friday from 5 o'clock this afternoon. By being on the radio this hour, you and I have been unable to partake in that food over there. I hope it's not all gone, Drew.
Better not be.
Yeah. Well, thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule right now to come join me.
Yes, thank you, Mark.
And be a part of it.
And thank you to your listeners. Please get to know me, I say. Please get to know me.
We'll be talking to you more between now and the election time.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to come back, sir.
Okay, live from Image 360. We're wrapping things up. Everybody have a great weekend. Coming up next is hour 2, though, of our show, so stick around. Sonar's got the second hour of Out to Lunch on WRMN, and I'll be back Monday morning at 6 a.m. with the first shift right here on WRMN. Have a great weekend.
Great, thank you.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 1 o'clock.